We're fusing with the state. Here's what happens when you make a decision. You fuse with that frequency. You have now matched with that frequency. And what will start to happen is over time, the material things will start to show up in your life. But every morning I come out here, I do my meditations, I grab my gratitude journal, and then I write my goals down, my C-type goal. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
What are the 5 ways to talk to the universe?
5 ways to talk to the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Come on in. Yes. What's going on, family? It's your man, Mr. Law of Attraction, back for another video coming to you from beautiful Dubai. Let's talk about the 5 ways to speak to the universe. And as we're doing this, I'm gonna give you a nice little tour of our new apartment. We got my beautiful girlfriend, Vanessa, behind the camera. So let's talk about 5 ways to speak to the universe. So first thing I wanna go ahead and show you guys is our new apartment. We just moved into here in beautiful Dubai. One of my favorite things that I love about this is this open floor plan. So we'll be taking you guys on the balcony, giving you guys a little tour as we're talking about the 5 ways to speak to the universe. So here's the first one, making a decision. You know, it's a funny thing. I had some messages coming from some guys and they're asking me, DeAndre, well, here's the first question. It's like, how do I quantum jump to the next level? How do I take my business from 6 figures to 7 figures? So that's the base question. And the first thing I have to tell them is, guys, you have to make a decision. They're like, okay, well, how do I make a decision? And it sounds so weird, but this is the first lesson I met from my mentor, Bob Proctor, that took my business from $0 to $100,000 a month in less than 45 twice. And that was making a decision. What does it mean to make a decision? You have to make a decision to get rich. You have to make a decision to take your business to the next level. You have to make a decision despite what's going on in the outside world. Here's the biggest thing that I notice that people are struggling with, is that they look at the outside world and based on what's going on outside of them, they let that make the decision for them. Brother and sister, I need you to pay attention to me. Stop looking at how much money you have, where the resources are, what business that you have, how many followers that you have, the fact that your videos are not getting views. That's irrelevant. The reason it's not getting views, the reason you don't have money is because you haven't made a decision to get to the next level. What happens when you make a decision? Here's how you make a decision, which is a really important thing. I was talking to my client last night about it. Is this, let's come and take a look on the balcony here. Look at this, beautiful. Absolutely love it. So let's talk about how to actually make a decision. First step, get out a piece of paper and a pen and write down exactly what you want at that new level. How much money do you want? What do you want the car to be? What do you want that life to look like? That's what we're talking about. You have to use your conscious mind, which is your imagination, to actually select the frequency. So many of you are looking at the outside world and you're letting it select the frequency for you. No, use your imagination to use it to make a decision. Get very clear on what that looks like, despite what's going on in the outside world. Here's the biggest thing why you're not making a decision. And by the way, you're like, what does a decision have to be with me going to the universe and talking to the universe and making more money and living my life in my dream? You have to decide. You have to tell it what you want. Tell God, tell your Christ consciousness inside of you what exactly that you want. For example, let's take this whiteboard I wrote on here, here's my goal. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 1 million YouTube subscribers and I earn $1 million per month. I made a decision that I'm going after that. I don't care how many views this video gets. I don't care how much money I have in my bank account. We are going after this goal. We are matching with that frequency. We're fusing with the state. Here's what happens when you make a decision. You fuse with that frequency. You have now matched with that frequency. And what will start to happen is over time, the material things will start to show up in your life. You have to understand that this physical world here is the slowest form of vibration. I've given you guys so many examples of how that means, but you guys are not understanding me. When you decide on what you're going after, despite what's going on in the outside world, you're starting to think. You know, James Allen said the hardest thing a human being can ever do is to think. What most of you guys are doing is you're reacting on what's going on outside of you. Once you decide, you fuse with that frequency. So that's the first way you make a decision. Number 2, you have to create a vacuum with the universe. So let's go ahead and take this out. One of my favorite parts about this apartment, other than like the open land, is that it came with a whiteboard, as you guys saw, which is really cool. Like I manifested that out of nowhere. But the best thing I like about this is this coffee table, or this dinner table. I love the chairs. We're gonna have a Friendsgiving here shortly. And as you can see here, This is where I run my client calls. Is my little office space, and I love the little backgrounds that we have right here. So I had an office space before, but now that we're kind of set up here, I'm loving it. I love the colors. I love the homey vibes. Gives me a nice little Tulum vibes. Here we have a little storage space for all the camera gear, and then we have another bathroom right here. And then we have a nice little couch. Okay, so let's hop inside and let's talk about creating the vacuum. Here's why we need to create the vacuum. The universe operates in an orderly manner, meaning it will give you based on whatever frequency that you're on. That's the law of attraction, right? So why is decision and vacuum, how do they work together? Here's what happens. When you start giving gratitude, start to feeling, thinking, and acting as if you're at where you want to be, you have matched that frequency, and you start giving gratitude, acting like you have it already, the universe says this, wait, Vanessa, why are you so grateful and acting as if you have that new car, that you have that new business, that new income, that new relationship? And the universe operating in an orderly manner says, I must give you that thing because you are emitting the frequency. Remember, feeling is the secret. Feeling is the secret that separates us from all the living creatures. You can manipulate your feelings to manipulate the universe. So when you start thinking, acting, and feeling as if you have it, you create a vacuum in the vortex. That vacuum now, what it does is allows the universe to come in and swoop in through the bridge of incidents and give it to you what you want. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make a decision. The second thing you're going to want to do is create a vacuum. And now how do we actually create that vacuum? That goes into step number 3, how to speak to the universe, out of the 5. And that's your thought patterns. We think on frequencies. And most importantly, your thoughts are what separates you from all the living creatures. A bird can only be a bird. A tree can only be a tree, but you can be whatever you want because you have been given the dignity of consciousness. But brother and sister, you haven't been using it to bend the matrix to your reality. We'll go back to number 1 here, decision. You haven't made a decision. Your thoughts are literally things that literally, how do I explain this? Your thoughts, they penetrate time, gravity, and all things. Think about this. I can go read a book from my late mentor, Bob Proctor, and his thoughts on the book can then be planted into my life. But he has passed away, rest in peace. His thoughts are still on this earth. Thoughts are the only thing, the highest form of frequency that surpass all things. Why thoughts? Because it's consciousness. And by the chains of consciousness, you change your life. That's number 3. Make sure you take control of your consciousness. By the way, this is our beautiful bedroom. I love this. Again, the guys that designed this apartment did an amazing job. We got the big bed. We got Vanessa's little penguin right there. And then
our penguin.
Okay, our penguin. And then we have beautiful, I'm not going to take you back there, but we have a lot of storage space, another bathroom. Absolutely loving it. But my favorite part, as you guys are probably noticing, other than the big floor plans, is we have one balcony on the other side. And then we have the big boy balcony where I do my meditations out here. So let's go ahead and take a look at where I do my meditations and my favorite spot of the house. So we are in JLT. We were in Business Bay before next to the Burj Khalifa, but now we're in JLT here, and you can see that right here I have my little gratitude journal. So every morning, and it's a little windy out here, guys, but every morning I come out here, I do my meditations, I grab my gratitude journal, and then I write my goals down, my C-type goal. That's my bad handwriting. So I write my goals down, I do my meditations, I do my quantum jumps right here in this beautiful chair. But even look at this. Like, how could you not be like grateful looking at a view like this? Why don't we give them a view, Vanessa? Like, take a look. We're way high up here, guys. You know, so check this out. Absolutely gorgeous. Motivated, motivated, motivated. So let's talk about step number 4 on how to speak to the universe. Step number 1, we spoke that it was decision. Oh man, I almost fell. We spoke about decision. Number 2, creating a vacuum. Number 3, thoughts. Number 4, feeling states. Feeling is what moves the actual needle. Remember this, we live on 3 simultaneous planes of existence: spiritual, intellectual, and physical. Okay, so we got that down pat. We've talked about this before. The body's an electrical magnetic switching station, meaning all the thoughts do is send out the signal. You're sending out the signal, but you have to attract it back to you, magnetize it back to you. Well, how do we actually magnetize it back to us? It's through the feeling states. Feeling as if it's done, feeling as if it's yours. The moment you make that decision, what you're doing is you're fusing with that state. You have to have the feelings behind it. That's how you magnetize it back to you. You see, One thing, Vanessa, why don't you come on this side so people can see us, see the beautiful back over here. I'll stand over here. One thing that I noticed, we were on a client call last night, is that people are not actually magnetizing it back to them. They're too much in their head. Too many people are like trying to get too analytical with the law of attraction. No, you need to learn how to apply this. So you have the thoughts of what it looks like as if you achieved it. Then we're going to go ahead and fuse that with the feeling states. And guys, you have to take what I'm saying here and apply it. It's not just taking a bunch of notes. If you're just taking notes right now, shout out to you, but that's not going to do shit for you. You need to learn how to apply it in your specific business with your specific offer on how to get to the next level. That's when we magnetize it back to us. And the final one, the most important one, which I guarantee that at least 50 to 80% of you are not doing right now, is act as if. Actions. You have to act as if you have it. That is the thing that will separate you from all other people. And the best way I can explain this is when, obviously I have my school group, my coaching program for the entry levels, and we were on a call last night, and I noticed this guy was not applying it. He was listening to me and asking questions, and then I was like, all right, bro, like, let's look at your business. He wasn't acting as if. He was undercharging. The reason he undercharged is because he didn't have a self-image that he could charge more. And what was just simply, he wasn't acting as if he had it. What would you do if you had the car? Would you go test drive it? Should you be looking at the watch, right? For example, I was looking at the Rolex for like a week before I went and bought it. I got obsessed with it. I had already purchased it. It was an escrow. I bought the crypto. It took 7 days for it to kind of come together. So while I was in that 7-day period, I was obsessed, staring at the Rolex, watching all these videos on YouTube. I got obsessed. I acted as if I had it already. I was looking at the colors. Do I want this color? Do I want that one? What would you do if you had what you wanted already? How would you feel? And then how would you act? You see, I always acted as if, even when I was a broke 19-year-old in network marketing 10 years ago, I used to test drive the Porsches, test drive the cars. I knew I was going to be rich. I knew I was going to be rich, and I know I'm going to the next level. I'm acting as if I have the 1 million subscribers. I don't care how many views this gets. I'm transferring my energy as if it's done, because it is done in the spiritual plane. Now it's going to take some time to transmute into its physical form. Acting as if. What's one thing that you can do such that by doing it, you can match with that frequency, act as if you have it, and get out there and change your life. Guys, that was 5 ways on how to speak to the universe. Hope you got some value for it. I know you got some value from it. If you like this, subscribe below. I'll see you in the next video. This is Mr. Law of Attraction. I'll see you soon.